Need a lunch inspiration? Today I've partnered with Starbucks to share one of my favorite dishes, the Croque-Monsieur, that I'll pair with a latte using the Starbucks Cafe Latte K-Cup pod. These lattes are so simple to make, and I'm gonna show you how to make them in the comfort of your own home. So let's get started. Between work and a baby that doesn't sleep through the night yet, I would never say no to a delicious latte in the comfort of my own home. And sometimes a Starbucks Cafe Latte K-Cup pod is just what I need to make a latte to pair with my lunch. Today, I'm gonna be making one of my favorites, a Croque-Monsieur. So let's get right on into it. First, I'm gonna prep my veggies. Here I have a stalk of leeks and I'm just gonna slice it up. I'm just gonna slice maybe about half a cup here, and I tend to like the white parts of the leeks better just because it has more flavor. That looks good. I have a pot that I'll heat up to medium-high heat. Let it get hot, and then I'll drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Once the oil heats up, I'm gonna add in our leeks. I love hearing that sizzle. I'll let it brown up just a little bit, and this usually takes maybe 3 minutes. Typically, a croque-monsieur is like a fancy French ham and cheese sandwich, but today I'm amping it up and adding some clean ingredients like leeks and spinach. So our leeks are starting to brown, and now's the perfect time for me to add in about 2 cups of baby spinach. I'll saute them together for maybe another minute or two, just until the baby spinach is cooked. Now I'm going to transfer it into a bowl and set it aside. Perfect. And now I'm gonna move on to making the bechamel sauce, which is a classic creamy French sauce. On low heat, I'll start by melting a little bit of butter. So the butter is melted, and now I'm gonna add in equal amounts of flour. Make sure you don't brown the butter though. And then you'll see that the flour turns into this nice paste. So now I'll add a little bit of Dijon mustard, stir it again, and next up you guys will see it turn into this beautiful creamy sauce by adding a little bit of milk. You wanna make sure that the milk is at room temperature. So you want to add the milk slowly just because you don't want it to clump up. With the whisk, it'll just help make a really beautiful and smooth sauce. To know when it's thickened enough, just take a wooden spoon. If you can put your finger through and the sauce stays like that, it's perfect and it's ready. Now I just like to season it with a little bit of salt, some fresh nutmeg that I'll grate in, and then to make it really creamy and cheesy, I'm gonna add in Gruyere cheese and some Parmesan. So once those are added, give it a stir, let the cheese melt, and we'll add back in the veggies. Give it a final stir. Super easy, right? To make the croque-monsieur, I love just using a hearty, crusty loaf of bread like this. I've already toasted my bread. I'll spread the Dijon on both sides. If you don't like Dijon mustard, you can totally skip this step. But I like that it adds a little bit of tanginess to our croque-monsieur. This looks good. And now I'm gonna layer on our bechamel sauce. That looks good. So now I'm gonna go in with some thick cut ham and layer it on top. Perfect. I'll just close up the sandwich. This is where I'm gonna add extra cheese because a croque-monsieur typically has cheese bubbling and overflowing on top. I'm using Gruyere because it melts really well and it's a French cheese, so when in Rome or Paris. So with my box grater, I'm just gonna grate a 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup. And you guys, the nuttiness from this Gruyere cheese will pair so well with our vanilla flavored cafe latte later. I cannot wait. We're almost there. Cheese looks good. So lay it on and just pat it down to make sure the cheese stays in place. Perfect. On my baking sheet, I'll just place the sandwich on top and I'll broil it till the cheese is nice, melty, and golden brown. It's gonna be so good. Onto the broiler we go. So while our croque-monsieur is broiling off in the oven, I'm gonna show you how to make a latte using the Starbucks Cafe Latte K-Cup pod. The delicate notes of the vanilla will pair perfectly with our savory ham and cheese. I can't wait. And this is so simple to make. It's just 2 steps. Put this here, and then I'll pop our pot in. And let it do its thing. Oh, I can smell the coffee just coming out. It smells so good. And that's it. How simple was that? I'm just gonna give it a quick stir. And wow, look at the steam coming out. It's piping hot. It smells like a gorgeous vanilla field. All right, our latte is done, so now it's the perfect time for me to check on our croque-monsieur. All Alright, our Croque-Monsieur is done. The cheese is nice and golden brown. I have my sandwich, my vanilla flavored cafe latte, and we're almost ready to eat. But first, I want to cut this up and show you how beautiful and gorgeous it looks inside. And here we go. Look at the layers of bechamel, the thick country ham, and the cheese just kind of bubbling over the top. It smells amazing. What I like to do though is to serve it up with a side of salad right here, which I'm gonna plate. Now I finally get to take a bite. Let's dig into this. The ham is smoky and the bechamel sauce was perfectly creamy. It's gonna go so well with this latte. Having this pairing is like a Parisian experience in the comfort of my own space. Try it for yourself in your home.